did the ACC yesterday of doing a kind of a three-team for the new Big 12 permanent rivals if they did the same kind of scheduling. Now, granted, there's less teams. There'll be 14 teams for a couple years, but I didn't.
Will there?
Yeah, at least for 1 year, there'll be 14 teams. So I didn't want to do that pass on, what Texas and Oklahoma's three-team rivalry is going to look like for however long it is. But this is for the new Big 12, and these are 5 teams in the new Big 12, top 5 permanent rival rotation. Number 5, I think Houston's best 3 would be UCF. So they bring kind of an old conference foe with them, and in the new one, UCF, Tech, and TCU. Every year they would play them and then rotate off the other ones.
They've been playing Tech.
Yeah.
Why not Baylor?
Well, I got Baylor later. So
yeah, honestly, Houston's one. If I'm a Texas school, I want to play them. I want to play them if I can. So yeah, that would be beneficial for Tech and TCU. But if I'll see what you got there for Baylor. But if I was Baylor and I was picking, I think I'd probably want to play Houston. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that would line up nicely.
I also think that you don't want to have all your permanent rivals in the same state. Just not maybe the schools might. But as far as the conference, you want to have at least one that flexes outside of it, so you have some variety in the permanent rivals. So number 4, Cincinnati, West Virginia, which is the old Big East rival, UCF, which is the also there in the East, and then Houston, who I'd like to maybe see the new teams play each other, and that takes Houston out of the state. For one, I guess I did Houston already. Never mind. So I screwed this up. I messed it up. I think I meant to put Oklahoma State there. But anyway.
No, that was going to – and I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because you had used – I'm glad you did because I would think Cincinnati wants to play in Texas, obviously.
Yeah, I was trying to put them in. I was trying to put them in Texas.
And Oklahoma State's like playing Texas because a lot of their roster is from the state. You
could put them in Lubbock and have the Tommy Tuberville Bowl. I don't know. But I did mess up on this one. Sorry about it, because I wanted to put him in. I wanted to put Cincinnati in Texas one time.
See you end of the show. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Go ahead.
It's very rare that I mess this up. Number 3, let's just moving on. BYU, Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Yeah, that would work. I do wonder if they're not an American conference school.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like they're lumped in with those schools. It's like, we won't have BYU play UCF because never mind. They haven't been playing each other like that. So, I would maybe – BYU, Baylor just seems like it makes sense. TCU and BYU, because of their little bit of history, makes certain sense as well. I might flip Oklahoma State for one of the newer schools just to give them UCF or something like that. But yeah, that would be a great schedule. If I was BYU fan, I would absolutely love to have those 3 on the schedule.
Yeah. Number 2, UCF would be Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Texas Tech. And again, this gets UCF into Texas, and not necessarily against Houston. Well, and again, I messed it up because they're playing Houston. So this was hard to do, man. This is hard to do. I probably should have put somebody else in here.
This is what the Big 12's having to do right now,
exactly.
Right?
I'm trying to figure this out. So just listen, schedule nerds. This crap's hard.
I can't wait for the replay to play. They're going to just they're
going to eat me.
Well, actually, Paul.
Yeah.
Can't have that set up because,
look, we can just say this is possibilities. They don't necessarily have to wrap into each other. This is just maybe ideals without anybody else wrapping in. That way I can retcon this.
Yeah, I do think everybody that's not in Texas would like to play in Texas. The hard part's going to be, how do you do that with the old schools and the new schools? Because I don't think Iowa State or, any of those are going to want to be in there less than they have been. But the new schools will certainly want to be able to take advantage of that as well. And then some, obviously Houston's, here already, so they don't have to worry too much about that. And then they've, some of these schools, a couple have come over from the American, have had a little bit of a taste of it as well. But yeah, the state of Texas is going to kind of remain in some ways sort of the centerpiece, so to speak.
Yeah, I see where I pooed the bed here. I only did 5 teams. I should have done the whole conference and then cut out 5. But I digress.
Do that for Friday's show.
Yeah, I'll do one for tomorrow. I'll just do the whole thing and corrections. I admit, it takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. Number 1, Baylor. These to me would be the best. TCU and Tech. So you keep these rivalries, and then BYU, which. To me, it looks like it could be a really cool thing going forward. You got all the religious schools playing each other. To me, I think that's kind of an interesting thing and a way to build some rivalries and some new excitement in it. yeah, that's because I thought that, I mean, look, the BYU fans just go everywhere. I would kind of want to play BYU in my permanent if I was somebody, because I know that they're going to sell their allotment. There's going to be, a lot of national attention on it because they have a national fan base. I'd want BYU in my permanent if I was anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, these all three make sense. I'm curious about Baylor and TCU. I know it was a rivalry before Patterson and Briles, but it really does feel like it's probably going to lose some sizzle with the departure of Gary in Fort Worth. But, yeah, I mean, I think Tech and Baylor, obviously, there's some bad blood there, and there's just more of that feeling because of Joey McGuire now being out in Lubbock. So that makes sense from a rival. I mean, if you're Brett Yormark, I mean, Baylor, Texas Tech, Baylor, BYU, Baylor, TCU. I mean, there's three rivalries right there that you can market if you know and that's again if you know what you're doing and all that. But I mean, yeah, I would say if you're Baylor, I think you'd like to play Oklahoma State as much as possible. I think that's a good potential rivalry as well. But if you're doing three, you got three, so those three all make sense.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Very, very good. You're gonna
Red One said Tech is religious. No, the BYU, TCU, and Baylor would all play each other in their rivalry or their permanent three. But
don't go in there.
Yeah.